time for TERF Talk Tuesday. What an interesting couple of days it's been. Welcome to the best. Oh, look, if I do, how do I do it? The other way. If I do that, look, oh my God, it's on a mug. Anyway, I'm going to have to learn that. It goes like that. There. Oh, you can get this mug at the Adult Human Female store. Anyway, look, let's crack on. So here are your numbers. You are more than welcome to call. You don't have to say who you are, but we love to hear from you from wherever you are in the world. And because we love to hear from you wherever you are in the world, we have a US toll-free number, which is 08777 291771. UK free phone. I'm looking at it's quite a bad hair day. Is 0800 058 4204. And the rest of the world, it's +44 204 515 2251. Good evening. You are straight through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are, you don't have to, but welcome. What would you like to say?
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Eva, and I live in Scotland. Sorry. And this is kind of crazy. I've got a son, he's 5, and he's in primary. Sorry, it's quite emotional.
Okay.
And I've recently got a questionnaire from somebody in the school who is telling me that he's going to have LGBT education, and I didn't know this is going to happen so soon. I had no idea about this coming, and I'm really worried what's going to happen. I don't want to expose him because I think he's far too young to understand, and because my views also, I come from a family that is quite religious, not crazy religious, but I uphold the values as well. And I just would like some advice on how to deal with the school, because they're going to call me back. And I just don't want to come across as a crazy person that is like homophobic. I just want sound like I just want to postpone it. Or is there any form like opt out or something?
Is there any, sorry, say that again. Is there any?
Like an opt out form that I can say, I do not want to expose my son to it now.
Well, are you based in the UK?
Sorry?
Are you in the UK, or where are you in the world?
Yes,
You're
I'm
in the
in UK. I have been
Okay.
living here for a very long time.
Okay.
I'm foreign, as you can hear. I'm from Czech Republic. And I am just at the point where I feel like I should be emigrating, because obviously this is like really pushed on me. And I'm sure there are many other parents that are not aware that this is happening. There's lots of
Yeah.
like people from Muslim background and Polish, they're Catholics. So I just want to find out if there is something I can do.
Right. So let me first start by saying, I don't think you have to want to opt out of this absolute absurd nonsense of teaching 5-year-olds about sexuality, and certain the more dangerous thing of I'm a gold star atheist, as I frequently say, and I think that my right to object is equally as long as anybody else's for whatever reason. Okay, so what I probably, because I always, up until Muslim parents protested outside of the school in Birmingham, I genuinely thought when it came to the conflict of rights, I really thought that we would still side with the religious right to protect a child, certainly under the age of 11. And I was completely wrong about that. And I think it's a great shame, because I think it's such an insult to people's religions. So can you opt out? You can opt out of anything, I think, with your child when it comes to particular religions. So if you didn't want your child to have certain religious, like going to prayer in assembly, if you were Muslim and your school was Christian and they did Christian prayer, you can opt out of that. But for some reason, you can't opt out of believing your child being taught about gender identity. So this is my advice. You go into school and you have a face-to-face conversation and you have a look and see exactly what they're teaching your child. And remember that you might be the only grown-up, the only adult in the room, because you might be faced with some very young adolescents who are passing off as teachers. And I use that wisely because adolescence is something that you can go, it can be prolonged. And certainly I think it is in this day and age. So you have a meeting with the head teacher and you ask to see the materials and you go through it. Now, what LGBT might mean for your school and your 5-year-old is that they just say that some people have different families. And that is a material fact that some people do have families made up of single parents or 2 women as parenting or 2 men. I think that that is a perfectly fine thing for a child of any age to understand. I think it's quite important that they do. I don't necessarily think it needs a special topic. But the gender identity, I think, is a totally different thing. And so I think if I was going into school and I was you, I would ask explicitly what they're teaching and how they would answer certain questions. And I think the most important thing to do is to ask them to define their terms. So if they say gender identity, ask them what that is. And if they find it difficult to explain, I think you can tell them that you feel it reveals that they don't sound like they should be teaching it to children if they don't understand it themselves. Beyond that, I think you reach out to your local MP. You can look at school pack resources like Transgender Trend. They have a school pack resource, and so does Safe Schools Alliance. And they can advise you further with what the legal right as a parent, what legal right you have, and also what the school's legal right is. And I don't think it's like you're the advocate for your child. You can say no if you wish, and they can try and convince you that it's okay.
Well, I've been actually looking around and I have found some government guidelines, and there is actually a template for a letter which is for opting out. So
Well,
I
then
was hoping I could
do that.
use that.
Well,
It's
what
only
they did though is they put some of this stuff into the bullying policy, so not into the religious, not into PSHE. They put it, or rather in PSHE, so they put it as a bullying, to include children. So they were very clever with it. But if you find what you think is a way out, then I would definitely use that.
yeah. I was just gonna say that school is so proud of LGBT that they want to be an LGBT charter school. So that school is like a flagship for that. All they're just heading for it, and it's just mental.
I think your Freudian slip there was actually far more accurate as to what the school is. It's just so weird that we're trying to sexualize children. It's just so grotesque. Look, I think you have to. Somebody just put in one of the comments. Most teachers wouldn't teach this. I was a teacher. I taught drug education, but that for a 4-year-old was washing hands, asking for help if you felt unsafe, etc. So just go and have a chat with the school and look at those resources. I really would very straight questions of the school. Wish you all the very best.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for
You're very
everything,
welcome.
and
I'm
keep up the good.
so much. Nice to talk to you.
And you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, it's so hard, isn't it? Because you just what you want to be able to do is go into the school and say absolutely no, categorically, my way. You're not teaching this to my child. And I kind of wonder when we lost that. Like when I was young, I don't know that my parents would have been able to talk to a school or tell a school what to do. Someone saying the video is a bit choppy. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. yeah, it's really, when it comes to parents, I don't know whether we've got less power than we used to, or whether schools have just gone nuts, and so it's really difficult to actually talk to them and deal with them. But I don't remember my school being politically motivated in any stretch. So maybe that's what it is. So if you are in the UK, you can call on 0800. I'm just keeping on scrolling, and then I can read it. You can call on 0800 058 4204. If you're in the US, it's toll free for you. It's 0877729 1771. And the rest of the world, it's +44 204 515 2251. Did you catch me on Julia Hartley Brewer this morning? Isn't she wonderful? She has been a really strident voice in this fight. Just a quick yes in the chat. How many of you in the chat are coming to Brighton? Just asking. Oh, something up with the sound. Is it? Oh, God. I might have to go back to not streaming in so many places. Let me just see. I am on Twitch. I'm on the Standing for Women page. I'm on the Kellie-Jay Keen Facebook page and the Kellie-Jay Keen YouTube page. If you are following, yes, going to Brighton, yes. Want to buy it in Edinburgh? Difficult. Buy what? This is funny. I'm estranged from my daughter now because I said a man who wants to dress in women's clothing and be called Tracy is not transsexual. He's a transvestite. Oh, everyone's saying really bad stream. Let me see if I can drop one of my Facebook. Maybe that's what it is. Tell me if it's better. Anyway, wow. How many have registered for Brighton? Well, 1,200 people have registered for Brighton. Now, we know, and now it's pixelating and shuddery. Oh, great. I'm just going to have a look at my network. No, not you. And see if that's something to do with it. No, Ethernet is connected. Honestly, it's like being 20 years ago. No, pixelated. Oh, pig in hell. You won't like this, but you look like a rainbow. I wonder if I just come back to you. Right, I'm going to end it and I'm going to come back to you. Oh, now someone says better. Right, okay. So the oh gosh. Right. There's other things that you can do. So what we say at Standing for Women. Oh, let me just tell you actually, 15th of September. You can get information with 4 Women Scot. There is going to be a rally outside Parliament in Scotland. You have to attend. Jesus, these women have been working so hard against a ever more woke government in Scotland. So you do really, really have to help by attending. Like this is what we're doing. Friend John, did you just assume my gender? No, because I don't believe in gender. I'm wearing an orange female t-shirt this evening. It's a much nicer orange in the flesh, let me just tell you. Okay. If you want to buy merchandise, and at the moment there is a 10% off everything in the store. If you want to get something so you can be identified in Brighton, it's www.adulthumanfemale.store. If you are Hello, good evening. You are through to Turf Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are, you don't have to. What would you like to say?
Hi, Posie. It's Jennifer Thomas. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I'm just calling to wish you luck with your Brighton Speakers Corner. I'm excited to see that, and been following what's been going on with that, and I'm just a little concerned. But I know, I know you can handle it. But I just wanted to wish you luck.
Thank you so much. Where are you in the States?
I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm on a mountain in Pennsylvania, and I'll be in Pittsburgh this Friday. We're doing a Speakers Corner Friday night, so I'm actually leaving in like 2 hours to get to my Airbnb in Pittsburgh.
How exciting. How exciting.
Yeah.
And how many women are you expecting? Because I know it's really tricky to get large gatherings in the US because you're all so spread out.
Well, I mean, I'm getting some DMs from both women and men. I've been advertising on Spaces and just talking about like what we've done with the security. I'm liaisoning with the police. We went in and did a Friday one instead of Sunday because there's like a free speech designated area that looks, according to like what they're saying, looks like, they can accommodate the security that we would need. So I think that's helping, assuring people that we are preparing with the police ahead of time and coming up with a plan, trying to get them to, I'm going to meet with them in person tomorrow. So I'm going to have them, okay, where are you going to put the protesters across the street, and kind of get a solid idea of what even their plan is, because that was sort of kind of what we didn't do before. They said they were going to protect us, but like we didn't get like, well, how are you going to do that? Let's get this on in writing beforehand. So we're doing that, and I have a security team now helping us. So what I really would like to see is men coming and just standing with us, being, even if they're in the crowd, just being that bystander that kind of watches, and that scares people away from acting badly.
So tell them how they can find out about it so that they can attend, because there's a few people in the chat now saying that they would like to.
Okay, you can follow me at or follow Rev Fox USA on Twitter. You can also just go to our website, revfox.com, and there's a link tree in there. It'll take you to all our sites where you can see it. And there's an Eventbrite page it's at the City County building at 3:00 on Friday.
Okay.
So
and how do you spell Rev Fox? Is that 2 X's? I'm seeing it in the chat. Is it REVFOXX?
Yes, REVFOXX.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, what I don't understand about the States, and maybe you can explain it. Why aren't the free speech kind of those that really believe in free speech in the US? Why aren't they talking about this, about your right to speak, and about the fact that women can't talk about this? Why aren't they bothered, do you think?
I think that this is an exposure button that we need to hit. That's why, I keep doing them, because I think people don't really know how far along this has gotten, even with, like, we don't have free speech in America anymore, because if you can't, free speech, if women can't speak, then men don't have it. It works like that. Everybody has to get free speech in order for it to work. And I think Port Townsend was a big eye opener for people, that wow, we really have gone a little further than down than they thought with the free speech. So I do think they're going to come. The free speech people are going to come, and that's another sort of plan on the horizon, is to not just do these confrontational speakers corners, but sort of get into like a barbecue type setting in Texas, where we're talking with the friendlies.
Yeah.
so that they know what we're doing, because, you know, the media suppression is real. So unless you're in the right echo chamber and media loop, we're not getting a lot of each other's news. So just getting there in person on the ground is really important. So that's my guess. I mean, I'm sure there's other factors, but I think that's one of the big factors, is that they just don't know.
Well, I think you've picked up a couple more people in this chat who are going to come along. So, great. Somebody said, Channelie said, is it Channelie or Channelie? Channelie. She basically said, never thought they'd do it in Pittsburgh. I'm really excited to attend.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We're excited to have her.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
When you come to America, we'll have a huge speakers corner, and I'm definitely going to be there for that. I will help you plan that. Just let me know.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait.
Well, it's lovely to talk to you, and I hope to see you soon.
Take care, Posie.
Cheers. Bye. Hello, good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, hi, Kellie-Jay Keen. How you doing?
I'm
just
great.
Turn the telly down. How you doing?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I spoke about 3 weeks ago. I was kind of found it lucky to go on, but anyway, I digress. I want to talk about males.
Go on.
And we got the coming up in Brighton. We've all seen on Twitter and all the social medias how that's going to go with the counteracting, how the policing are not going to do their jobs. Let's be honest, but we never know. What I want to ask is, in fact, I'll set the tone first, because it's not really fair to ask a question about it. We're talking about this in the pub at this point. Us regular Joe blokes talking about these things in a pub, where our wives are coming to us saying about this is happening at schools. Our kids are coming home from school saying, oh, they want to know pronouns. We talk about peaking of people. This is, this is getting pretty big now. When blokes, just the regular Joe blokes talking about this in the pub, this is really getting to the forefront now. So what we ask is, we talk about this and how do we deal with this? What do we do? The last thing we want to do is make things worse. We cannot have, say, these black bloc protesters. We've all seen it, dressed up, covering their faces, face masks, all the rest of it, abusing women, being aggressive, violent. We cannot just go in and just beat them up, because that would probably do... Well, I don't need to explain that, but I'm asking you, as blokes, as husbands, boyfriends, cousins, brothers, whatever, what do you want us to do?
Oh, that's $1 million question, isn't it? I think, number one, I'm going to say loads of things that I hate that I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Number one, when it comes to talking to your children's school, despite the fact that mothers have much more to do with their kids' schooling, just it is, men are still taking it more seriously. So if you want to ensure that stuff is not going on in your kids' school, you probably will have a more successful conversation than your wife. You will just be taken seriously with those dulcet tones. That definitely happens. I certainly know.
Begrudgingly, yes. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
It's fine. I certainly know from experience when my daughter, when we needed they basically wanted girls and boys to get changed in the same classroom at 10 years old. And I was like, no. And I'd gone and talked about it, and they sort of tried to, and I'm really bloody firm. But then my husband just phoned and said, no, she won't be changing in the same room. What are you going to do? And he was taken seriously. So I know that happens. That's one thing that you can do very successfully. Two, talk to other men about it. So they talk to other men about it. So they talk to other men about it. And then all men are having a conversation. 3, do turn up to the events. I wouldn't necessarily engage. I think it's totally dangerous. What trans activists want to do is provoke people into violence or intimidate. And I don't think men
totally agree.
Yeah. Men don't do very well. Straight men who love women, and maybe some gay men who love women, but straight men who love women don't do very well watching women being intimidated, screamed at, shouted at, and threatened by blokes either.
No, that's absolutely right.
And we are
Absolutely
in a very
right.
funny time, aren't we? Because what are men supposed to do? Because 30 years ago, men probably would have thrown their weight around and probably sorted the issue out. And I don't know if we'd be quite where we are.
No, we can't get away with that now. Not so easily.
But I do think there's a very wise man that I speak to frequently, and he says that it's all about keeping your sword in your sheath. And that basically means that your very presence is powerful. You don't have to exert that power in a physical way in order to be effective. So I think come along, stand by your wife, have a conversation with the school, and just keep talking. I think that's what men can do.
Oh, I love that. Right. Well, thank you, Kelly, and thank you for having me again.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, there are more of us than you. I think you realise we're just not vocal at the moment.
Well, I bloody know. I'll tell you what,
Kelly.
I do know for free. I know that most straight men understand what a woman is, and most gay men understand what a woman is too. And most adult males who've ever been sexually interested in anyone are quite clear what biological sex is. So I'm well aware.
Can you give me the last soundbite? Adult human, female, women weren't wished. Anyway, lovely.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers, Kelly.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Can I just say to Freya, I did get your email. I get a ton of emails and I always think I've read it, I've responded. So I do apologise. Freya with £5. Hi, Kelly. I'd love to help you set up your Twitch and Discord server. Oh, that sounds great. I've emailed SFW. I should know this, with my experience. Thanks for all that you do. You are very welcome. And thank you for your £5 in the chat. And let's talk about that. Look, I'm so busy. I find it really difficult. Really, really difficult to delegate because I just have one of those, I'm sure most people do actually, one of those busy brains where I'm just doing too much all the time and I never get around to anything. Hello, good evening. This is TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi, Kellie-Jay. I got through a lot quicker than expected. Firstly, I'm sorry that I turned up a little bit late, so I've only just logged in about 3 minutes ago to listen to you talk, and I heard the end of the last caller. And in preparation, because I really missed you yesterday, I know it was one of your children's birthdays, so happy birthday to them yesterday, and we're doing TERF Talk Tuesday on a Wednesday. But I just wanted to share something that I found a bit scary. So basically, I work in sales, which means for my role, I'm on the phone a lot. I'm talking to new clients, I'm talking to existing clients, and so on. And a client of mine, and also what's important to mention now is that I was really behind on my voicemails. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I was really behind on my voicemails at work. And the fact is, for me, it wasn't really a big deal, because the clients who do call in and leave a message, I'm going to call them 2 hours later. I've seen that they've called me, and I don't necessarily need to listen to the voice message of them saying, "Hi, I called you back, call me back." I was behind on kind of clearing out my voicemail inbox. And then a few of my clients just kept saying, I keep trying to reach you, but I can't leave a voicemail. And I thought, okay, I need to do the right thing, spend half an hour of time I'd rather not spend doing this, but clearing out my voicemails. And anyway, so I found a voicemail which was from a few months ago, actually. So within that time, I'd actually spoken to this client 6 times since he had left this voicemail. And this was only on, I think, Monday this week, or maybe Friday last week. I can't quite. Yeah, I think it was Friday that I did this, and it was at least 30-second clip of what could only have been pornography. So it was an audio of what sounded like this person, this male client, was watching, and it wasn't nice to listen to. It was very obviously pornography. I also feel that it was very deliberate, because even if this particular or any other client had thought, oh, I'll call the person I need to call, and I just forgot to pause the porn video I was watching on my laptop. That's never happened, and it was so deliberate. And anyway, I was kind of shaken, and I spoke to a trusted colleague of mine, and it wasn't that I didn't want to speak to my boss about it, or didn't feel that I could speak to my boss about it. It was just, at the time, I thought it was so bizarre, and I was like, oh, I'll just mention this. And the good thing is, my boss took it very seriously. I'm one woman in a very male-oriented office, and I feel very lucky with the team that I have, and I don't feel there's, the kind of sexism that I've had to deal with before in terms of with colleagues, and they're all really great people. But what really bugs me, as well, a couple of things outside of the fact that someone sent me a very sort of visceral sounding and obscene clip of pornography over voicemail that lasted at least 30 seconds. Couple of other bugbears about this was that, firstly, I'd spoken to this person probably 6 times since he sent the voice message, and I didn't pick it up. And he kept saying, "Did you get the voicemail? Did you get the voicemail?" I also, which is creepy, I also know that the person that sent it has 3 adult daughters who are similar in age to myself. And another thing that bothered me was that initially I shrugged it off. I thought, well, I've dealt with worse things. I've had worse forms of sexual harassment and sexual assault in my life. So it's not really worth complaining about. And that's sad. That's very jaded. And I felt sad about being jaded. But the main thing that really bothered me on reflection just over the past few days was that a person like that, a grown man who isn't wearing a dress, could potentially be in the same hospital ward as me, potentially, in another, in inverted commas, safe space, like women's space, someone like that who has a kind of fetish, because I don't think this was so much about him telling me that he liked me, because no man who's ever liked me and wanted to express that has ever expressed it like that.
No, it would be unusual.
So this was about control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is assault, isn't it? I mean, is it assault if you send someone something offensive? I believe that's actually probably malicious communications and is a criminal act.
I believe so too. And a couple of my friends have said, "Oh, you can sue him and all of this stuff." And I'm like, I wouldn't even know where to start with that.
I'd report him to the police personally.
Okay, I will do. Thank
because
you.
it's intended to cause offence and distress. Like, I was interviewed under caution for tweets, and malicious communications. So I think it came about. Malicious communications came about from somebody sending anti-abortion kind of pictures, like really graphic pictures, to people that performed abortions. And so I think that I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to do this thing to this call. I think it would be malicious communications, and I think you could easily. Did you keep the voicemail?
Yes, I have a record of it.
I would report him to the police.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will. My boss, who is like all of my colleagues are wonderful. I'm really lucky to be working where I am. But my boss said to me, I'm not quite sure how to deal with this, but it's totally inappropriate. It's wildly inappropriate, and you'll never have to deal with him again. But do you feel that I would be able to report this person to the police just with their mobile number? Because I don't have access. My boss very kindly said, you'll never have to deal with this person again, and took him out of my database. So I don't have any other personal information other than his mobile number. But do you think it would still be worth pursuing?
Well, I think you could probably go to your boss and say that you feel that you have been violated and this person committed a crime, and you're going to report this person to the police. And I don't actually think data protection will cover that, as in I don't think data protection covers people when they commit crimes. And so I think the police would be able to come straight to your company and ask for the recording and the contact details of this person. So that's what I would do.
Thank you. Just because you mentioned that, because I wasn't really, I've been really kind of blindsided by this whole thing. Would you suggest this is something that I call 101 about, or is there a department that I should go to, like outside of 999, 111, 101 even?
Well, you can probably go on your local police force, and you can probably report it via that, or go to 101. I mean, I find, helpful, not helpful, but this in right now, I would say that it was really important I would call 101, and then they can advise you further. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Kellie-Jay. I really appreciate that and everything that you do. I really needed to share this as well. So everyone who's listening, I really appreciate you holding the space, all of you, for me. And the one thing I did want to say was that, this man, I know it probably seems a bit obvious or redundant now, but the same man or a man with similar views of women could be sharing a hospital room with my 67-year-old mother.
Oh, 100%.
Not just me,
well, also, this man's probably not. I mean, look, these men that commit these sorts of assaults, this is probably not the first time, and it probably won't be the least serious thing he does. So I definitely think that you should report. And of course, he qualifies as somebody more likely than any woman to commit a pretty gross act of sexual violence. So anyway, best of luck to you. Thank you so much for calling. Really, I'm so sorry it happened to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye. Oh, how gross is that? What a horrible person. Oh, what happened there? Good evening. This is Tough Talk Tuesday. You are through to Kellie-Jay. You can say your name. You don't have to. What would you like to say?
Oh my goodness.
Good evening.
Okay, sorry. Everybody says it's so much. You get through so much faster than you expect. I need to turn off the YouTube.
That'd be lovely. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I'm calling as one of the women who started the hashtag Young Gender Critical Women Unite.
Yay! Well done.
Along with a group of my friends who have a Discord server where we try to matchmake all the gender critical people all over the world with other people they just find interesting and get along with and chat in the server.
That's so great. That's so great. What made you decide? Was it a special day? Did you just think, actually, sod it, let's do it. Let's do a Twitter storm. Let's do it.
I was forced out of school after being bullied for saying something relatively tame. It also made national news, but besides the point, this is more about what I can do for other people and how I can show them that they are not crazy. And no matter how how insane they are made to feel. It's not being irrational or histrionic. You are not mean.
God. Tell us about what happened
heart.
with school then. How old were you when you got kicked out of school?
I was 18. I had repeated the year after spending a year in hospital with anorexia.
Right. Sorry.
13-year-old GCSEs because absent a lot afterwards with PTSD from things that I had experienced in hospital, and I had severe depression, instances where I was catatonic in that, and like my parents had to help me with everything, getting up, brushing my teeth and things like that. And the school incident, it was a visiting baroness, and mentioned something, denounced the whole, sorry, I'm completely incoherent, still stunned that I got through to you, denounced the whole of her peers in the House of Lords as irredeemably transphobic. And I made a comment about the need to reconcile, critical theory with material reality, especially when discussing things that actually affect women. This was in lieu of a debate that she had with Claire Fox about birth givers and the erosion of women-centered language. And the aftermath was unspeakable, and it I lost all my friends.
Jesus.
And people say, oh yeah, it's just sorry, my friends on Discord are like, call me Kate, that's the name. Kate is on TERF Talk. So we were also wondering if you would come on our Discord and do an episode with us, with all our peak stories as young people.
Of course I will. Does that mean I've got to type really quickly? Or do you
No,
chat?
no, you don't have to type really quickly.
Okay.
It's a voice call. So you just be on a chat with, there's so many of us.
That sounds fantastic. That would be lovely. Yes, please send me an email. But put something proper in the subject, because I get a lot of emails and I'm really bad.
Right.
Really bad.
By proper, what should...
Or something like
my
Discord chat. Just put something like I talk to you, Discord chat, and then I will look out for it. But I do get a lot of emails, and I also am very forgetful because I'm 48. So so how many is it mostly women on your chat?
It's all women.
It's all women. And how old?
And some detransitioners as well.
Right.
I'm the youngest.
Right.
I'm the baby of the group at 19, but we're trying to keep it roughly even with our 18 to 35 group and our 36 upwards.
Right.
We have about, I think, 100 of us on the server.
Wow. I mean, I know I think we forget how well. Perhaps we don't, because most of us have teenage children. But to be a young person now and try and have a different opinion, I think is really difficult.
I mean, I lost my education for it.
It's just outrageous. It's just totally outrageous. But how did you feel when you saw just how much everybody loved the hashtag?
I was thrilled, especially once we got the Young Feminists Who Dare one as well. What we want to do really is take the gender critical aspect and really amplify it, because TERFs have been given such a derogatory image. And it's so, as a feminist myself, I don't so much believe in the concept of gender, so to criticize it would be like an atheist criticizing God.
Yes.
But it was a useful way to put it.
I agree.
And the stories under there, oh my God, they're absolutely heartrending. But I know Sarah, the main, the woman who runs the Discord, has been sending everyone messages who have commented to join us.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
have been forging a community out of that as well. And I have my own group for women in the Southeast and in London. It's more of a second wave feminist renaissance group, but a big part of it is gender critical. So if there are women in that area in this chat, I will find a way to get in touch with you. Just comment in the chat and I will find a way.
Okay, well, you know, Standing for Women could do with some young women. If you fancy joining us and getting your own little Standing for Women group, we can provide flags and tablecloths, stickers. The world is your merchandise oyster. But thank you so much. It was just so lovely to see, because obviously we older women do worry very much about how difficult it is for you young women, whether it's the saturation of porn or whether it's the saturation of
don't get me started on
transgender. Well, I just think it's, you know, it's I've got a teenage daughter, and she just said, you know, if all boys are watching it, you know, how do you escape it? How do you ever find a boy who's not absolutely saturated in pornography? And I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, it was lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much for calling. Best of luck.
Thank you for hearing me. I hope to hear you on Discord.
Cheers.
Right, bye.
Bye. Okay, that was one of our young gender critical. Oh, look, I'm not allowed on Twitter. Somebody said I'd love to get Jelly K on my Twitter space. Anytime, except I'm not on Twitter. But otherwise, I think it would be great. So if you were calling then just from Australia, please feel free to call back. There we go. Good evening, or good morning. You are on TERF Talk Tuesday. My name is Kellie-Jay. You can say who you are, you don't have to, but good day.
Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
I'm ringing from New Zealand. I listen to you sometimes when I'm not working. Just wanted to say, fantastic what you're doing. We're watching you down here as well. And we are starting to try and fight this as well.
Yeah.
I'm a second wave feminist I'm pretty old now, I'm 73. My name is Chris. I don't have any problems telling people who I am. And I'm the surfing TERF.
Well, how
so
jolly nice.
We'd love to see you down here. And this weekend, some of us are hoping to meet up in Auckland, Gender Critical Women. And there's a group going now. A lot of the people are quite scared. I'm a teacher. I still teach occasionally, and I'm refusing to follow the education curriculum, and I've already got myself a couple of times because of what I've said.
Wow.
So, but I can't believe I've actually got through. I've tried a few times, and today I'm doing another master's, so I'm actually studying today. So it was an opportunity to ring you.
Well,
but we'd love to see you down here.
I'd love to come down there. New Zealand was one of the first places where I realised it was one of the worst sort of peak stories early on, and I think it might have been about 2016 2017, and a girl had been suspended from school because she had objected to a boy in the changing room. And the reason she was actually suspended in the end is he was really annoyed that she had the audacity to go in a single stall changing room when he was in the changing rooms. And he basically thought the way girls behaved was the sleepover in the film Grease, where girls sort of all put nighties on and hit each other with pillows. And so in the changing room, you know what I mean? In the changing room, that's how he thought girls behaved. So he started behaving like that, and this other girl was upset, and she went into single stall and said that she found it really uncomfortable that he was there, and she got suspended. And that was in New Zealand a really long time ago. So you guys have been under this cloud of crap for a long time.
Well, we've been, the interesting thing is I belong to a lesbian organisation because I'm also gay, and we put in a lot of submissions when the thing was going through Parliament, and the way that the submitters were treated was shocking, absolutely shocking. We were basically ignored, and nobody was listening. And so, of course, the bill went through under stealth because the government actually got a big enough majority in the last election that the people who were driving this, and I'm sad to say several of them were well-known lesbians, actually managed to push it through. And there wasn't a single political party on the left or the right, not a single dissenting voice.
It's so scary. I just, you sort of think, I mean, look, I've said this before. I always think Australia, New Zealand, a little bit more sexist than us, maybe sort of 20, 30 years ago. Little bit more sexist.
Blokes, yeah.
And so I'm thinking it's not going to get hold there because, like, the men are so sexist, they clearly know what a woman is. But the sexism and this misogyny obviously go very much hand in hand with what is happening right now. So, of course, they don't care because they've never listened to women in the first place.
I also think a lot of people are frightened to speak up. I really do. Our education curriculum, I've downloaded a copy of it, is frightening because even at infants level, when they first enter school, this stuff is being taught, and some of it's really horrifying. It is quite sexualized. I can't believe what I was reading when I downloaded it.
Do you think that's coincidence, or do you think, like, what's your gut feeling on it?
I think my gut feeling is that the education ministry and a lot of the teaching profession have been made very woke, and a lot of people are afraid to speak out, and it's directed from elsewhere. I don't know who works in the Ministry of Education. It's pretty much an organisation to itself, and we don't know who's behind it. The Speak Up for Women group here have created an alternative curriculum, and I have a lot of friends in the PPTA, that's the Post-Primary Teachers Union here, and I've been firing this stuff at friends of mine who are fairly high up in that area to pass it on and see what they can do with it. But that's what we're doing at the moment. It's pretty difficult, really. Hey, look, it's lovely to talk to you, but I'll get off the phone now and let other people come through.
Well, look, New Zealand is a place that I am very happy.
You don't get it right.
I do. In my English.
No, you don't, mate.
Go on, you say it for me.
New Zealand.
Oh, it's so
except
lovely.
we're saying New Zealand.
It's so lovely. But thank you very much for calling, and best of luck. I hope to come down
go well,
soon.
and good luck with Brighton. If I was a rich person, I'd fly over to join you.
Well, maybe I'll win 110 million or something and fly everyone in.
Well, if I don't take lottery tickets, but if I win one, I'll bring you out.
Thank you so much. Really nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Hello, good evening. You are through to TERF Talk Tuesday. You can say who you are. You absolutely don't have to. What would you like to say?
Morning, Posie. It's Rex Landy here.
Good morning, Rex Landy.
I can't believe I got through, girl. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, still fighting the good fight.
That's just nuts.
Still fighting.
So we just had another caller from your neck of the woods.
I know, and I called. I thought, I've tried before. I won't get through. And look at that. Here I am. And I'm here to report that not everyone has fallen. We've got an 18-year-old baby TERF here, my friend. She's at medical school.
And what's medical school like? Is it woke?
Yeah. Well, there was one lecturer who said, "Now we know the bone isn't real, but today we're talking about the reproductive system. So today we're just going to use boys and girls just for today." Oh, fuck. Come on. So that's how they're teaching our medical students.
It's just. It would be funny if it wasn't so frightening. I mean, years ago they were saying that once they've come for once they've come for different parts of the curriculum, they'll come for biology, and everyone's like, they won't come for biology. Of course they will.
Of course. The thing is, they want to capture the language because he who controls the language controls the debate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's really important to resist the pronouns. You can say, I don't genuflect to gender jeebus.
What?
You know, and lucky.
What happened
Well,
with sport? Because obviously you Kiwis like sport, and that's something that maybe brings men in. What's happening with sport?
I'm going to have one big up. We've got one real good big up, and his name is Steve Hartley with an EY, and he's the head of New Zealand Boxing. And he has come out and said there will be no trannies in women's sports. He didn't say it like that because I'm just profane and awful and gloves off.
Yeah, wow.
Steve Hartley has come out and said there will be no men in the women's category. And I wrote to him and thanked him. I took the lead off my sister Di. She wrote to him, and he wrote back and said, as long as I'm the chair, this will never happen. This liberal woke agenda will never happen.
It's so mad, isn't it?
So, yes. I hope nothing happens to him because I'm a cynic. You come out hard out against the trannies, they come for you.
What, you think he'll lose his job?
Oh, I hope it's only his job, girl.
Really?
Well, I won't keep you. I'll let other people ring in. Are you coming to New Zealand, darling? Because there's a bed here for you.
Oh, thank you. I sort of said to my husband, there's so many places I want to go. New Zealand is definitely in my top 5, and Australia, and I just feel it's totally necessary that I should go to New Zealand.
You're the Emerald Queen, Posie. You are my queen.
Oh.
You're my Betty in Buckingham Palace. You're my queen.
Well, thank you so much. And I must say, if anybody hasn't seen Rex Landy's submission, where can they find it, Rex?
On Manawahine Kōrero. That's our YouTube channel. And we've got lots of perfect goodness there for you. Love you, Kelly.
Oh, love you too. Really nice to talk to you. Cheers, lovely.
Never
Bye-bye.
surrender.
Never surrender. Bye-bye. Oh, how lovely was that? Right. We are at 9 o'clock. Tasmania as well. It's just hacker the trans away. Truth seeker. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Look, it was a bad hair day, but it was a good call day. So these t-shirts are available online. I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening. Rex Landy is lovely. Really do. I can't tell you how to spell. Here we go. So I can't. I'm going to put in the chat. Can I show there? Oh, there we go. That. Oh, look, just bask now, just very briefly in my magnificence. That is the address where you can find Rex Landy's submission. Excuse me. Rex Landy's submission. Let me show that one more time. Oh, no, not you. This one. There. I can't believe I can do that. I feel like a genius. That's where you can find Rex Landy's submission. Look, we are just how many days? I think we're about 10 days away from Brighton. Let me have a look. 10 days tomorrow away from Brighton. Oh my God. I'm telling you, if you're in the UK and you can get to Brighton on the 18th and you don't come, you are going to regret your pants off. It is going to be, I'm telling you, that day we are changing the world. That is what's going to happen on that day. That is what's going to happen on the 18th of September in Brighton. We are going to literally change the world. Course of history will be altered on that very day. It will be the day where women basically stand in the street and say, no more, we've had enough. And all are welcome. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you've said bad things about me. I don't care if you're a blue tick feminist who has said anything that I don't agree with, I don't care. If you care about women and you want to stand and be counted, you are absolutely welcome to stand alongside us. There are no divisions. There are no divisions. I'm so past caring. The house is on fire. We would like some water. If you've got a bucket for this particular furnace, then you have to come to Brighton. Super chat, $9.99 US. Come to Boston or Cambridge or Salem, Massachusetts. Ooh, it's getting close to witch trial season, and I'm the Giles Corey of TERFs. Oh, are you? Thank you for that super chat. So, thank you so very much. Oh, I like that. I like the idea of that a lot. Salem does sound like the sort of place that we should all go. Anyway, thank you so very much for joining me this evening. If you can come to Brighton and you can help us change the course of history, I promise we will win. Wherever you are in the world, if you can find somebody in real life that you can speak to about this so you do not go crazy, you do not feel gaslit, you do not feel the weight of sanity pressing upon your skull, then I promise we will win. Super chat 449. Thanks so much for your work, KJ. You are very welcome. That's from E. Needham. And finally, do you know why else we're going to win? Because I never lose